Hello, my name's Stuart Kightley. I'm a partner in Osborne's Personal Injury Department. If you're watching this, then the chances are that you or someone close to you has been injured in an accident and you're looking for some legal advice. It may be that you're not able to work at the moment, you're losing money and you're struggling financially. It might also be that you're concerned about bringing a claim against your employers because of your job security position. You may be worried that if you don't bring a claim now, then the evidence is lost, or worse, your opponent gets to it before you do. You may be worried about treatment, whether the NHS treatment you're getting is good enough, whether it's fast enough, and whether you're getting what you need. The job of a personal injury lawyer really at the start is to address all those issues and find answers to problems for you. So if you're not being paid, we can look to get an interim payment from the opponent. In most cases where they admit liability, they'll pay. I'd reassure you, hopefully, that all employers are required by law to carry insurance against work accidents. And so it's quite rare for us to see any real problems between employer and employee over a claim. The employers simply pass the claim on to the insurers, who then deal with it. In terms of evidence, we need to get in there and get the evidence necessary to prove your claim. It's often just by speaking to you and getting your details, but in many cases we need to speak to witnesses and get statements from them, and we'll start that process at the start of the claim. And in terms of treatment, well, insurance companies are a bit more enlightened now than they used to be. They tend to fund initial needs assessments carried out by independent people. They come in and assess what your medical needs are, whether they're being met by the NHS, and if not, they make recommendations and the insurance companies fund that further treatment. So these are all issues that we'll need to look at the start. More generally, you're going to want to know the answers to these questions. Am I going to win? How much am I likely to get? What's the procedure? What's involved? And how much will it cost? Well, I'll start with the last of those because it's the easiest. Under the current system, the claimant effectively pays nothing because the case is run under a no-win, no-fee agreement. That means that if you lose the case, there's nothing to pay. If you win the case, then the opponent pays costs as well as damages. The first question is, am I going to win? Pretty important. It's a fault-based system, and so if you can't prove fault, you don't win and there's no claim. We only take on cases that we think are going to win. Liability is sometimes easy, sometimes complicated. It's something we'll need to look at with you. I'll give you two examples. Road traffic accidents, if you're involved in a rear end shunt, that's going to be pretty straightforward. The person behind is at fault, you're going to win on liability. If you're a pedestrian crossing the road, you suffer a head injury, you can't remember what happened, there's no witnesses, that's more complicated, and the job of getting evidence becomes more complicated. You may need experts and that sort of thing. What's a claim worth? Well, again, it depends, but for very, very good reason. There's a very wide range of damages because there's a wide range of injuries, and some are over in days, others last a lifetime. The range from injuries is from £1,000 to over £250,000, from a minor soft tissue injury at the bottom of the scale to quadriplegia and serious brain injury on the other. I mean, the main determinants are the initial injury, how serious it was, and secondly, the long-term outcome. For that, we need to wait and get an independent medical report once the symptoms have settled and assess it and advise you about overall value then. And that's just for the injury claim. In addition, you'll be entitled to what we call special damages for loss of earnings, the cost of care, out-of-pocket expenses and various other losses. Again, the amount falls to be determined once we have a medical report and the case is capable of settlement. And then there's other losses for lost earnings, cost of care, any help, aid, assistance, those sorts of things, which again we'll assess as the case goes on. Finally, you might want to know what's involved in terms of procedure. How long will it take? Well, what we do at the start is we send a letter of claim to the opponent. If it's a road traffic accident, we do it all online and we get an answer very quickly, within 3 weeks. In other cases, 3 months. If liability is admitted, it gets a lot easier. We concentrate on the medical evidence and the value of the claim and look to settle the case. If it's denied, or if we can't settle it by agreement, then we need to issue court proceedings. A few cases go to trial. They settle when insurers agree to admit liability or to pay enough money. I hope that gives you an oversight of what we do. If you want to talk a case through with us in more detail, do contact us. My name's Stuart Kightley. You can contact me or my partner Wendy Wright or anybody in the personal injury team using the telephone numbers and email addresses on the website.